Electrovalent or ionic bonding takes place when there is a large difference in electronegativity between the two atoms combining. It involves a complete transfer of one or more electrons from a metal atom to a non-metal atom. The result of this electron transfer is the formation of ions. The ions are positively and negatively charged and are held together by strong electrostatic forces. An example of a compound with electrovalent or ionic bonding is sodium chloride. The Lewis symbols of a sodium atom and a chlorine atom are shown on the screen. What has to happen to give a sodium atom a full octet of electrons? Answer: the sodium atom has to lose one electron. What has to happen to give a chlorine atom a full octet of electrons? Answer: the chlorine atom has to gain one electron. Click on bonding to see what happens when bonding takes place. Click on reset to go back to see it happen again. Describe what happens when sodium and chlorine combine. Answer: one electron is completely transferred from the sodium atom to the chlorine atom. The transfer of electrons is from the metal, sodium, to the non-metal, chlorine. Two ions are formed, the sodium ion and the chloride ion. Which ion is positively charged and which is negatively charged? Answer: the sodium ion is positive and the chloride ion is negative. You will also see the change that takes place in terms of electron arrangement in orbitals on the right-hand side of the screen. Describe the change that takes place to the electron in the 3s orbital in a sodium atom. Answer: the electron from the 3s orbital of sodium leaves and enters the half-filled 3p orbital of the chlorine atom. Let's look at another example: magnesium oxide. The Lewis symbols of a magnesium atom and an oxygen atom are shown on the screen. Which element, magnesium or oxygen, is the metal? Answer: magnesium. What has to happen to give the magnesium atom a full shell of electrons? Answer: the magnesium atom has to lose 2 electrons to get the stable octet structure of neon. What has to happen to give the oxygen atom a full shell of electrons? Answer: the oxygen has to gain 2 electrons to get the stable octet structure of neon. Click on bonding to see what happens when bonding takes place. Click on reset to go back to see it happen again. Describe what happens when magnesium and oxygen combine. Answer: 2 electrons are completely transferred from the magnesium atom to the oxygen atom. 2 ions are formed. Which ion is positively charged and which is negatively charged? Answer: the magnesium ion is positively charged and the oxide ion is negatively charged. Remember, metal ions are positive. Look at the change that has taken place on the right-hand side of the screen. What has happened to the 3s electrons in the magnesium atom? Answer: the 2 electrons from the 3s orbital are transferred to the 2 half-filled 2p orbitals of the oxygen atom. Another example of a compound with ionic bonding is magnesium fluoride. The Lewis symbols of one magnesium atom and 2 fluorine atoms are shown on the screen. How many electrons are there in the valence shell of a magnesium atom and a fluorine atom? Answer: 2 in magnesium and 7 in fluorine. What has to happen to give a magnesium atom a full octet of electrons? Answer: the magnesium atom has to lose 2 electrons to get the stable octet structure of neon. What has to happen to give each fluorine atom a full octet of electrons? Answer: each fluorine atom has to gain 1 electron to get the stable octet structure of neon. Click on bonding to see what happens when bonding takes place. Click on reset to go back to see it happen again. Describe what happens when bonding takes place. Answer: the 2 electrons are lost by the magnesium atom and each fluorine atom gains 1 electron. How many ions are formed and what are they? Answer: 3. 1 positively charged magnesium ion and 2 negatively charged fluoride ions. Look at the change that has taken place on the right-hand side of the screen. What happens to the electrons in the 3s orbital of the magnesium atom? Answer: 1 electron from the 3s orbital goes into the 2pz orbital of each fluorine atom. Notice that the formula of magnesium fluoride is MgF2, which shows that 1 magnesium atom combines with 2 fluorine atoms. Aluminium fluoride is another example of a compound with electrovalent or ionic bonding. The Lewis symbols of 1 aluminium atom and 3 fluorine atoms are shown on the screen. What do you expect to see when aluminium and fluorine combine? Click on bonding and see the change take place. What happened? Answer: the aluminium atom has 3 electrons more than is needed for a full octet, and fluorine has 1 less electron than is needed for a full octet. The aluminium atom loses 3 electrons and each fluorine atom gains 1 electron. How many ions are formed and what are they? Answer: 4. 1 aluminium ion with a positive 3 charge and 3 fluoride ions each with a single negative charge. An aluminium atom has 2 electrons in the 3s orbital and 1 in the 3p orbital. What happens to these electrons? Answer: these 3 electrons lost by the aluminium atom are gained by the fluorine atoms. 1 electron goes into the half-filled 2p orbital of each fluorine atom. Summary: Ionic bonding takes place when 1 or more electrons from a metal atom are completely transferred to a non-metal atom. The 2 atoms combining to form an ionic bond have a large difference in electronegativity. Ions are produced in which there are full octets of electrons. Metal ions are positive and non-metal ions are negative. Examples of compounds with ionic bonding are sodium chloride, magnesium oxide, magnesium fluoride, and aluminium fluoride.